Did you know a lot of people are saying that the property market is going to crash because of the extended discount that has been happening in the government land sales market? Have you heard about it? So a lot of people have been saying that there is a potential market crash that's going to be happening because the land bid sites for a lot of the GLS have been getting significantly lower than what was previously transacted. So what sparked everything was the Zion Road Parcel A GLS that was bought by CDL for only $1,202 per square feet per plot ratio, or also known as PSF PPR. Now, why is this significant? Is because previously there was a site just beside at Jiak Kim Street that was transacted in 8th of December 2017 for $1,733 PSF PPR. Now, this difference represents $531 PSF cheaper that Zion Road was transacted today, which is a 44% price gap. Now, this is not the only site, which is what's causing all the fear. Recently as well, there's a site at Holland Drive that was transacted for only $1,285 per square feet per plot ratio, which just beside the land plot that was sold in May of 2018 was sold for a higher price of $1,888 PSF, which is a 603 PSF price gap or 47%. And that's not the only one, because we even have Orchard Road and Cascaden Road side by side, and yet the price difference is $760 PSF, which is around 47%. But after looking at these three, you realize that there is something of a coincidence happening. The price gap difference between last time and today is roughly 45%. We look at Orchard, 47% difference. Holland, 47% difference. Jiak Kim, 44% difference. Now, whenever I see coincidences like this happen, to me, it is never a coincidence. It is a pattern. And when there's a pattern, there is a reason. And as investors, it is our job to find out the reason for ourselves in order to make the most informed decision. And when I ask myself, what is causing all this to happen? It is the increased cost that developers are facing today compared to that period of time. So let me just run you through. If we look at the construction costs back in 2018 versus 2024 today, we can see that the average condo prices, mass market, have increased by 95.3%. The costs for high-end properties have gone up by 37.5%. We take a look at the ABSD rates that developers have to pay. That has also increased, right? Jiak Kim was bought during the old 2018 ABSD rate. Zion Road was bought during the new ABSD rate. Cascaden Road was bought during the old ABSD rate. Orchard Boulevard was bought during the new ABSD rate. So what is the difference between the ABSD rate last time and today? So you can see that last time, developers had only have to pay a 15% ABSD, and this full amount will be refundable to the developer once they have sold 100% of all the residential units in that development. However, today, developers have to pay a 35% ABSD upfront, but what is more important is that 5% is non-refundable. So they have an additional 5% ABSD that developers have to pay upfront that is non-refundable. So already we can see that in terms of ABSD rates, developers have seen minimally a 5% increase. Next, we look at the land betterment charge. Right, so whenever developers develop a land, increase its value of the land, they have to pay this LBC, land betterment charge. And we have seen that non-landed residential properties, LBC charges have gone up by 12.9%. Coupled with that, if we take a look at the different types of groups, we can see that the commercial component is actually 3.5 times more expensive than the residential component. Right, so this is a significant increase in cost for the developers, especially if the development is a mixed development. I also take a look at all the developers who have been purchasing land ever since the new regulations came up from 2023 to 2024. And what we see is that there's only a very small group of developers who have been consistently purchasing land today. Now, what is the trend here? I'll let you guys think about it and figure it out. But let me show you about all these developers, this small group of developers who have been buying, right? Because they all have something in common. And when I look at all their financial statements, what I notice is that their financing costs has gone up by 37% to 86%, which on average is about a 62% increase. And when looking at their financial statements, I also found out that marketing cost has also seen a 2% increase. Now, 2% might not seem like much, but when you're counting in the hundreds of millions, it is a significant amount when it comes to your profit margins. Okay. So as a summary, overall, in terms of the increased cost that developers are facing right now, construction costs have increased from 37.5% to 95.3%. Professional fees, legal fees, taxes have gone up by around 18%. Financing costs have gone up by around 62%. So let's apply this to what has been happening in the market, and let's look at some numbers. So my team and I have already taught them how to actually calculate, okay, all the break-even prices for developers whenever they buy land. And this is how we actually guide our clients to make the most informed decision and to avoid overpaying. So let's take a look at Jakim Street GLS that was transacted previously. Based on the land bid, the construction cost that developers have to pay, the special construction cost, because for Jakim, which is now today known as the Riviera condo, is a mixed development, so there's a special cost there. Financing costs, professional fees, marketing costs, all this added together leads to a break-even price of $2,453 PSF. Now, based on this break-even PSF, we are able to estimate based on a 15 to 20% profit margin that developers will sell the Riviera condo between 2008 to 3000 PSF. So let's take a look if our calculation is accurate. Now, taking a look at the Jakim Street GLS, we can see that Riviera was indeed transacting, all right, sold by the developer between 2008 to 3000 PSF. Now, we take a look at the Zion Road Parcel AGLS. Okay, I have the old calculation on the left and the new calculation with the increased cost on the right. So you can take a look. For based on the old calculation, if we use that same numbers on the Zion Road parcel, it seems like the developer's break-even is significantly lower, which is causing a lot of fear. But that is wrong and very misleading because we have already found out that developers' costs have increased significantly. So taking into account the new cost, we can see that the break-even price for the Zion Road Parcel GLS is actually $2,508 PSF, which means the sale price will be between 2008 to 3000. So I would say that the developer CDL has already done their calculations. They are definitely targeting when they bidded for the $1,202 PSF bid for the Zion Road GLS, they already calculated the estimated sale price, which they already know today in the market, people can accept this price point, and they reverse calculated it, right? So are they getting it significantly cheaper? I would say no. In fact, they are being very, very conservative in their bids. So kudos to that for CDL. So Zion Road and Jakim, you notice their break-even prices actually don't differ much at all, right? So is it really a discount? To me, not really if you actually understand the numbers. Let's take a look at the Holland Road GLS as well. So Holland Road GLS, based on the old calculations, it's about $2,691 PSF, which means the sale price by the developer will be $3,000 to $3,002. And taking a look at the sale prices by the developer, we can see that it has also hovered between $3,000 to $3,002 during the later stages. Now, if we look at Holland Drive, even though the land price was bidded at significantly lower at only $1,285, firstly, we must understand this land plot is also not a mixed development like what was previously done in the Holland Road GLS. Secondly, there's increased cost today that developers are facing. So based on the new calculations, the Holland Drive GLS, right, the break-even is $2,494 PSF, which a sale price the developer will be selling is estimated to be around 2008 to 3,000 PSF, which if we look at what was already transacted in the One Holland Village or the Holland Road GLS side, it is already something the market can accept. So this is, to me, the developer already playing it conservatively. They have done their market research and they reverse calculated what would be the bidding price based on the sale price that they intend to go for. Now let's look at the last one, which is Cascaden Road. So Cascaden Road bought during May of 2018. Based at that time, the break-even price is $3,231 PSF, which means the sale price will be between 3,007 to 3,008 or 3,009, which if we look today, this was what was transacted by the developer. Now, I want to put a caveat for Cascaden Road GLS because today you can actually get it at a special discount. The developers are nearing the end of their ABSD timeline. So you are able to get certain units selling at or below the developer's break-even price, which is a fantastic discount. Now, if you want to find out more whether or not this is something that you should go for, whether or not this is a price point that makes sense, feel free to reach out to me or my team and we'll be happy to help you out. Now, let's take a look at the Orchard Boulevard GLS. Based on the new calculations with all the increased costs developers are facing, the break-even price is actually $3,160 PSF, which means that this developer will be selling it at 3,006 to 3,007, 3,008 PSF. So is it at a very significant discount? Actually, no. We can see that the lower land prices are actually a very conservative play by developers nowadays. What they essentially do, they already have done their market research on what are the prices people can accept today, and they reverse calculated for that bid of the land itself. All right. So this is just something special that I want to share with all of you because I think that there is a lot of misconception in the market right now that the lower land bids are developers, being fearful is that, there's the market is going to crash, but actually there is a fundamental reason, right? And I'm a very firm believer of this. When I noticed the trend, the pattern happening, it got me thinking and I went to do my research. And that is why today we know that developers are not fearful at all. In fact, they're just being conservative. They're playing it smart, taking advantage, where right now there's lesser bidders, lesser competition, and it's time for them to buy land. So if you like this video and you found it very useful for you, do me a favor, like it and share it with someone who will benefit. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.